You're going to the gym every day, you're meal prepping, waking up at 5 a.m., only spending $1 a week, when all of a sudden, everything stops. You're paying for a gym membership you haven't used in 6 months, you're eating out every other day, you're waking up at 2 p.m., and you're spending your entire paycheck with nothing left over for savings. So how can we stop this from happening? Today we're talking about 3 things that will stop us from achieving our goals if we don't leave them in the previous year. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hi, I'm Kayla and I make videos about faith and lifestyle, and if you're not, hey, let's go. You cannot achieve what you do not remember. It's as simple as that. For most of us, not achieving our goals has nothing to do with our capabilities or us not being good enough. A lot of times, it's simply because we forget about them. When I was making my prayer board for this year on Canva, I was reminded of the ones I made for previous years that I had completely forgotten about. When God tells us in Habakkuk 2 verse 2 to write the vision and make it plain, He's not telling us that so we can bury it. What's the point of writing something down if you're never gonna look at it again? Says my phone with no storage. It's kind of like impulsive buying. In the moment you say, oh, I really want this, I can't live without it. But if you wait a week, chances are you don't want that thing anymore. Heck, you've probably forgotten about it. Why? Because it wasn't that important to you in the first place. Your desire for it may have stemmed from what you thought you should have, or what other people have told you should have. So how does this relate to goals? The key is setting unforgettable goals from the start. Consider how your life will be positively changed once you achieve this goal. If there is a big difference or a valuable difference, because I'm learning those two are not the same, then that's probably a good goal to set. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, how bad do you want it? If your answer is real bad, then here's what we're going to do. This year, we're going to make sure we keep our goals where we can see them. This can come in the form of printing out your prayer board or making it your laptop home screen or doing weekly check-ins to see what you've done that week to contribute to your goals. Number 2, you cannot drive on an empty gas tank. Now you may say, well, Kayla, what if I get an electric car? Okay, well you still gotta charge it. Either way, a car needs some kind of fuel. In the same way, you need fuel. We need fuel to do the things. In the early days of my fitness journey, I would usually start off so strong. Come January 1st, I was lifting weights consistently. I was counting my calories because I was on and am on a perpetual bulk. But after a while, I would find myself being too tired and achy to work out. So I skipped a few workouts here and there until eventually I stopped working out altogether. So why didn't I achieve my fitness goals? Well, I did implement rest days, yes, but I wasn't flexible enough to allot myself an extra day of rest when I could feel that my body wasn't ready. And I was probably working out a little too hard in the beginning, as I often tend to do. I always say that the only thing standing in between where I am and where I want to be is execution. Without execution, goals are just pipe dreams. At the same time, we are not immortal. We cannot go on and on without refueling. Even God, when He was creating the earth, took a day of rest, not because He needed it, but to set an example for us. God never tells us to do anything that He Himself hasn't already done. So when He tells us to be holy, it is because He Himself is holy. When He tells us to forgive, it is because He Himself forgives us daily. And when He tells us to rest, it is because He Himself rested. If you think you can work non-stop without any rest, then you're essentially putting yourself on the same level as God, which is a big no-no. If you don't take away anything else from this video, just remember these 3 things. Come here, repeat after me. 1, burnout is not biblical. 2, execution, but not to the point of exhaustion. 3, rest is productive. I feel like Dora. In the midst of going after your goals, make sure you're routinely refueling yourself by getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, giving yourselves breaks when you need it. It shouldn't just be another thing to check off on your to-do list. Incorporate it into your schedule. Incorporate your schedule around it. Number 3, not having a relationship with God. And to clarify, by God, I mean Jesus. I'ma keep it real. Maybe the reason you're not achieving your goals is because you're trying to do it by yourself, in your own strength. Now I want to clarify something. God is not a genie. He does not go around simply granting wishes, mainly because a lot of the time, we don't really know what we're asking for, and He knows that some of the things we want are just straight up not good for us. Thank God He did not give me a lot of the things I asked Him for, because I would be up the creek without a paddle. Now you might be thinking, there are tons of successful people who don't believe in God, and you would be right. The Bible never says that unbelievers wouldn't be successful. However, what it does say is, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? This is loosely related, but there's something I want to say. Brace yourself. Manifestation is just the Timu version of faith. I said it. Sorry, not sorry. I find it interesting that many people believe in the universe, but want nothing to do with the God who created the universe? Don't you think he's much more powerful? And if you believe the universe is on your side, how much more does the God who created it want to be on your side? How much more does he love you and want you to succeed? Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or stow away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" So with that being said, if you're interested in learning about godly goal setting, watch this video. I don't know where it is. Somewhere up here. And feel free to join my 5-day godly goal setting challenge that started on December 5th. It is not too late to start. You can do it whenever, but I highly recommend you do it as soon as possible so you can make the most of the calendar year. As always, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.